Yo! I know you're so used to seeing the flashing lights, take shots with much bravado. Don't you know you don't have to lay down your only life? I need you here tomorrow. Is martyrdom the only philosophy? I can set you free from all that seems to bind. Years ago, you threw the key into the darkest nights, then hit the light to follow.
Welcome, and thank you again for sitting with us under the aNvKai tree. I'm aNvKai, and I'm here with
Jip Jack on the attack.
And this is season 5, bitches! Oh my god, it's been so long. Well, not that long. It's been like a year.
It's been a year, yeah. It's been
like
a little bit of a minute.
Year. We had
the last time we saw y'all, we did the reading for the year, and bitch, accuracies. Accuracies. Laid it out. Did you go watch that and think about where you at right now and be like, oh shit.
Yeah, definitely check that out on our YouTube channel, and we did it on Instagram. It's on Facebook. It's May now, so check in and see where we're at. It's been about right, but this show is like our baby as like a couple, so we wanted to come back with our 5th season, and you guys love our relationship episodes, so we really wanted to like talk about that. We have some great guests for y'all tonight. We're gonna introduce them in a few, but as always, as you know, we are some. Give me all your money, and I will take you higher. Give me all your money right now. So make sure you support us you can support the podcast directly at aNvKai.com/aNvKai/support, and you can become a monthly subscriber. You can donate as little as I think $5, anything up to like $50, or definitely now we have our Patreon. So make sure you join us on patreon.com/aNvKai tree, and we have exclusive content. We have merch, behind the scenes footage, like little things that you won't get to see on air, like the after show and things like that are going to be on there. So make sure you check us out on Patreon. We have 4 tiers to our Patreon. So you can join as a Leaf member. That's $3 a month, and you get behind the scenes content and a little bit of extra stuff. We have our Trunk members, which get behind the scenes content more. We have Branch and we have Root members for $10, and that's where you get everything, including merch. You get merch also with the Branch and the Tree Leaves. We have some really, really like dope stuff that y'all should check out. So make sure y'all go and look at that Patreon. And join us so you can get more and like help us keep this going. Like, we work like lights, time, all that is expensive. So help some sisters out like a little bit. So before we get into our first segment, I want to lightly introduce our guests for tonight. We have Richie and Xavier, two YouTube influencer couple that we've been like following for like a while on social media. They do really like cool videos, like do things like pranks on each other. They talk about their relationship. They really get into it, and we wanted to like really just like highlight queer couples coming into this season. So we're gonna bring them on right now and let them talk a little about themselves before we get into like these topics in this discussion for tonight.
Yo.
What's up? We good. How y'all doing?
How's everything?
Chilling.
So introduce yourself to the people. Let them know what's going on.
Well, it's your boy Rich.
And it's your boy X.
What's y'all got coming down the pipe? Let them know what's going on in the near future and what they should be looking out for that y'all already did.
Well, actually, we just like well, first and foremost, we're RichnX. We're a YouTube couple. We have like a lot of videos where we do pranks, like how he already mentioned. We do pranks, we do challenges, we do topic videos, travel videos, a whole bunch of different things. In the future, honestly, you can expect the same thing, except we just moved into our apartment, so like content is getting way more aggressive. Like the output is gonna be way more aggressive. We're coming really hard, you know what I mean? If you would like to subscribe, it's RichnX, just like the name that's right here.
Nice. I'm excited about tonight's show. Oh, make sure you guys, speaking of YouTube pages, make sure you share this video. Shares a long way to like friends, like family, to people. Make sure you like and love this post. If you're watching on Facebook, loves go really, really far. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know anytime we post a new video on our channel. And we're just gonna like dive on in.
Let's go.
All right, so we have our first segment, the leaf, and the leaf is where we touch on some things lightly. So for tonight, like for the leaf segment, we're gonna talk about love languages. Our first question for tonight, actually, for both of you, want to start with the first question?
Sure.
Okay.
1 second, y'all.
Oh, we didn't put them. Oh, I did that on purpose.
Okay. Okay, so what is your love language and how does your partner use that to support you? Am I answering it or am I asking you it? I guess I'm answering it. So I would say top two. I feel like top two are usually really important. But my first love language is quality time, and Mick Sykes uses that to support me by showing up, coming with me to gigs, being around if I like have to like talk to somebody about something important concerning a gig because it's like one of my least favorite things to do. And needs a manager. Hi y'all, needs a manager. Right? And chilling, like we chill a lot. I need to just chill and be able to like talk shit and like, you know, watch random shit on TV and things of that nature. And then like my second is physical touch, and it's when it's time for the bang bang boogie. That is the support that I need on a regular basis. Get it popping, get it popping at least 3 times a week.
Every day.
Every day, thank you.
Every time tonight.
We got another one.
Every single day.
3, thank you. At least, I mean, I would prefer every day, but in supporting me, Mick Sykes is not necessarily the person that needs every day, right? So in that way, we have a compromise of 3 times a week because it would be too much for Mick Sykes to actually do every day, right? So it is a support thing. It's not an equally yoked thing in that way, right? It is something that is a purposeful act of support in that way.
And we have actually a question about that later. So we're gonna like get into like how you match up different sex drives. Like we have a question from one of our viewers in our branch segment that's coming up. For me, before we get to y'all, my main love language is acts of service. So like I love like when they can do things for me, like clean up something around the house, like put something together, take the trash out. Like that really is something that like shows people love because I do a lot. Like I'm really an active person. And I'm always like either like decorating the house, like adding something new, cleaning up. Like I do the cooking and a lot of the cleaning in here. Cause that's not their thing. But like whenever they can do something for me, like it really like makes me feel supported. Like one of the things like that they do for us because like I have to leave so early in the morning is like they walk the dog and make sure like all the pets, like we have a dog and 2 cats, so they make sure like they're fed and walked and like watered and all that, and like the laundry, like they handle that when they can, so like that takes like a load off of me. And my second love language is quality time. Like I love to spend time with a nigga. That's my best friend. Like no, he really is. So like, there's no one that like I would rather like spend time with. But I'm like the person that like I want to go out. Like y'all said earlier, like I love to we love to travel. We love going to places together and having new experience. Like we like before like the pandemic, we will go like on like a date at least once, if not twice a week.
Yeah.
Like we will always be going somewhere. So like I love like to spend time, and even if it's just like chilling in the house watching some stupid shit on TV. Like we love reality shows like Housewives and all that. So just like having that time together like means a lot to me. But if you can do something for me, like, you know that.
How about y'all? What's going on over there?
Well, I think that my love language is also quality time too. And the way that X supports that is like, whenever we have opportunities to, because we're really busy, YouTubers, full-time job, then we're also students, like we have a lot going on. But when quality time is due, is due. And the way that he supports that is like he plans things for us to like watch movies together, for us to like have certain dates or whatever like that, because my schedule is a little bit more busy than his is. So he plans things, plans like, little trips and stuff, do a whole bunch.
Yeah.
See, I agree with both of you guys. I need a little bit of both. So, see, I enjoy the quality time. I enjoy the little touchy, like, when it's due, it's due. But like we said, I think it's due like every day, especially with how like what we go through on a daily basis. Like it's due. And
Say it again.
It is.
Say it 7 times.
You get it every single day, though, but you get it every single day, though. Okay,
I can't.
It's just like I understand where y'all coming from at the same time with the 3 times. Is when you become an adult and you have so much going on in your life, it's unrealistic because sometimes you're fucking just tired and you don't even want to be around nobody. You don't even want to be around shit. You just want to go to your bed. So I understand that, but I will wake up and I'll make up for it.
For me, it's like
That's
I
what
get
I'm
filled
saying.
up really easily. Like, if like we don't we don't really do quickies. So like whenever we have sex, I'm like, yo, I'm good. Like I can float off this for like 2 weeks and like be fine.
You're good. I swear you're good.
Was
we don't
not like that.
Either. We do not do quickies either. So it's like by you saying that makes me feel a little bad. It's like, maybe we need to try the 3 times a week.
No.
Work
If you manage to get it every day, keep that. And I'm just like, until they complaining. When you start complaining, then be like, all right, let's think about it.
So they can't.
But you better capitalize.
Shit, if you doing it,
because them times don't last always. Okay, exactly.
Start hitting the gym.
So our next question for this segment is like, what things annoy you about your partner, and how did you overcome that? Like we all got things like we in love, but like
of course, yeah. There's always those things, right? You go first, baby.
Oh,
gave you the opportunity.
I think one thing that annoys me from that Richard does is, I think as of right now, it's little stuff because, like we said, we just moved into our first apartment, so it's like him cleaning up after himself, like, leaving his sneakers where, I'm sorry, it's just leaving his sneakers where they don't belong. It's just little stuff like that. Like, it's nothing major. It's stuff like, I have to remind him, like, babe, like, we have a shoe rack, it's little stuff like that. But, I understand, like, he's working. We have a lot going on. So it's like, I don't think that's going to last for long.
Exposed.
I mean, exposed. Heavy on it. Me personally, I don't really
Wait,
think that.
You didn't answer the second part. So how did you get over that, or have you gotten over that?
You're not over it. You're clearly not over it. You're clearly not over it. Me personally though, I don't really think I have anything in particular that he really does that I could say is really annoying. You know what I mean? Because I'm the type of person where it's like I try not to hold on to certain things. I try not to overthink certain things. I just think every single day is unique. You know what I mean? So if I mention something to you that might be bothering me in that moment, I feel like I give the person the opportunity to do what they got to do and deal with that. And he's really good with doing that. You know what I mean? So I don't really have anything that necessarily annoys me that's consistent.
How about you guys?
We're gonna get the true serum later for the after show on our Patreon.
I'm serious though. I'm so serious.
No, that's beautiful. That's good. That's a good way to live. I'm like not that way. I cannot forget shit to save my life. Like I was literally like not necessarily about this relationship, but I was literally just in a project where like the second I got there, I remembered everything that was happening and wound up being the person that people had to be like, so what were we doing? And it's like, this is what you guys were doing literally the whole time, right? And I was up there for a month. And that is so when it comes to interpersonal shit, if you hurt me, I'm like, and that shit sticks, you know?
Yeah.
So what annoys you about me? Oh boy. I don't know if I'm ready.
You know what? We don't know we're ready.
The thing I guess that annoys me about you is your lack of forthcomingness.
Okay.
Right? It's like if like for the most part, any show that I got going, I can work with whatever show you got going, you know? That's like an Aquarian trait. It's like, what were you going with? Okay, great. Let me.
Oh, you're an Aquarian?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm Aquarius too. Where's your birthday?
Yeah, sensational horror power. Now, so
I'm a Libra.
Wait. When is your birthday?
February 4th.
Oh, mine's January 23rd.
I knew you was a January Aquarius. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it. You know why? Because y'all the ones that ask when your birthday is.
Wait, when
That's
is
true.
your,
I just connected.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra, and my birthday is September 24th.
Okay, cool. So a Libra and Aquarius.
What's your sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oof.
Okay. Oh.
And then you trying to not give it up every day? Somebody gotta ask.
No, I give it up.
I'm just saying you can't be up in the house with that energy, and this even had to be a question. Like
no. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I feel like he capping right now because we're on the live. But I know for a fact that sometimes he don't even be ready for it. I'm always consistent, but I just know that as time
if
goes,
you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
I always fact. I just know as time goes and because our lives are becoming more busy, I'm trying to be realistic with it too. It's like, all right, eventually it may not be like this, but for me, my drive is up there.
Listen, I walk around the house naked, so
that.
He's lying again.
I do.
But yeah, that's like what really it's the lack of forthcomingness that be annoying me because it'd be like, damn, like having to find out things in hindsight, be like, shit, you know, and then being fucking psychic and knowing the answer in the first place, and then you not telling me, like, you can't expect my psychicness. I want you to like say it in the room, you know. Say it. Don't make me have to rely on my psychicness with you. I have to do it with too many people, you know?
I can see and accept and like receive that.
And how we overcome that is I read you for filth every time you do it.
Libras are by nature sometimes like nature, sometimes secretive. And I do cop to that. Like I don't like laying out like my hand all the time, or sometimes it's hard for me to get what's like deep in my mind out to the front, and like they just be like, tell me you're processing something instead of just not saying anything at all. And I'm like, fine, but it's like if I'm processing something, like I don't want to like, I'd rather not answer than it's for me it's like weird to like say that I'm processing something, but that's something that they need, and that's something that I've been trying to like improve on, like in our relationship.
And one of the reasons I find it interesting that it's difficult is because it's something that you require of your students. You know what I'm saying? Like your students are neurodivergent, and for the most part, it's like you need them to be.
You dig into these.
Oh yeah, you need to. This was the point, wasn't it? Now let me stop. So you know what I'm saying? So like it's that, you know, it's not. It's not so much that you are no shade, all tree. No shade. But it's just that. You know what I'm saying? It's letting a person know where you are. You don't have to have the answers. Niggas are niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, we human out here. Like, literally, like, you know what I'm saying, with the issue that happened with my mom, it's like you literally don't know nothing. The second you turn your back, anything could be going on behind you. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way to say that you have the answers. I can't expect you to have the answers all the time, you know. That's crazy. That would be annoying if you expected me to have. Well, if you said, "Well, I expect this bitch to have to expect me to have all the answers," I'd be like, "Oh hell yeah, that's annoying as fuck." You know what I'm saying? But what's yours?
So the thing that the thing that annoys about you, like, you're very intelligent and like precise, but you have like this thing where around the house you're like super absent-minded. It's kind of like what Xavier said, like, you leave your shit around, or like you leave shit. Oh yes, you leave shit open. That's the thing that annoys me about, like, you will leave like milk open, soda
Milk.
open, soda out. Like, you left, like, you put it back in the fridge, but you won't screw the top. Like, our face stuff, like, you won't screw, like, you put, like, sometimes you've got better rubbing the cap back on, but you won't screw the cap. But before, like, we first got together, you just like the cap, like, the serum would be here, the cap would be over here, and like that shit drives me crazy. I've gotten over it because you brought to my attention that I do certain things too, and I'm trying to be honest, in trying to internalize that,
Certain things like that, not just certain
I've,
things. Like certain things very much like
I don't
that.
leave shit open. I don't do that.
But like we'll leave shit out that
Yes.
should go back. Like,
Yes.
you know.
So I can't. I try to be less hard on myself, so I'm less hard on them.
Right.
Because I'm very hard on myself about shit like that, and then like I would like project that onto them, and that's not cool. And they made me very weird. The Aquarius has, that's not cool. So I try to like stop doing that. Like, I don't like if I leave some shit out, or like I don't clean, like I don't wash the dishes right away. Like, I try not to beat myself up about it. So I don't, like, when like they do it, I understand like where their energy is coming from.
And the critique comes sweeter, you know. I feel like a lot of times we don't get into treating each other well in relationships, or treating each other nice. It'd be a lot of, okay, so like we had the same or similar rough upbringing. Let's just like keep testing each other about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, like, if you did something that messed with me, like, okay, it messed with me. And if I did something that messed with you, it messed with you too. I'm not gonna, whenever I bring up a grievance, I'm an intense person, but I'm gonna be frank. I'm not gonna like
Intense is being nice.
scream. You know what I'm
But I love
saying?
that.
Or I'm not gonna scream or actually throw shade. I'm just gonna be like, so here are the facts. And these are what those facts led to me feeling like, you know? And
That's true.
that's all I'm ever asking for in terms of like whatever it is that you are seeing as a grievance that you have, especially if I do it too. If I do it too, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say nothing at all, because I'm just like, look, like, if I'm not quite ready to change it, I don't have necessarily the right to say anything. But if I do it too, and I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna be like, hey, we do this thing that we have to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to make sure, and that's a bit.
Wait, say that one more time.
We do this thing that we have to work on. And that, to me, like, especially if y'all both doing the same thing or do similar things as it pertains to, like, okay, if we have an upkeep of the house issue, right? If upkeep of the house is an issue, if we both are doing the things, like, okay, my thing is not closing things, your thing might be leaving clothes wherever they might lay. Okay, we both have to
I
come
have
together.
particular areas where I leave my clothes. As random as they may seem, there's a method to my madness. But we're gonna let that go. Actually, baby, can you ask the last question for this segment?
What's one thing you wish you knew about being in a serious relationship before you got into one?
Y'all can kick us off. Oh,
Baby. No, you can go first. I'm still thinking.
Okay. What's the question again?
What's one thing you wish you knew before you got into a serious relationship about relationships?
Mm.
I can go first. Well, it's not really about a serious relationship because I knew what I wanted before me getting into the relationship. I think I just want to tie this question into us moving into an apartment together. Because this is our first time moving together. So,
How long have you been together before you answer?
huh?
How long have
2
y'all been
years.
together?
2 years.
Oh, so cute, babies. No, stop.
So, one thing I wish I would have knew is just, I guess, having to, compromise a lot in the apartment, like what you guys said. I guess it's just a lot of communication. I'm the type of person I don't like. I like to sit and think about what I have to say before saying things, like what you said. And that's just one thing I wish I would have known before. I guess jumping into apartment and stuff like that. Yeah.
You see, I got a spicy Latina first, though. If I want to start off by saying that, you see it already. My thing is, I think I'm a piggyback off of what he said. Compromising. I feel like when you get in, like us coming into the situation, we're mostly talking about this is like the compromises and everything like that. No, but in general, compromising. Like I feel like compromises are really important, and you think that it's going to be a lot easier than what it is coming into it, you know what I mean? And you don't realize that you're starting into a unique situation with a unique individual. You think everything is going to be like straightforward, and it's not, you know? I wish that I would have known, and I would have had, I would have reevaluated so I could be able to, no, I'm not going to say reevaluated. I just wish I would have had more time to really figure out what that meant exactly. Like, being with somebody, being like having to actually, please the person and then pleasing yourself at the same time. Like I wish I really understood how to do that more first, because now I'm in a situation where it's like I'm figuring it out as we go. And it's going good, because we wouldn't be in an apartment together. But, that's like I feel like one of our biggest battles, because I'm a Scorpio. He's an Aquarius. We both like to be in control, in charge. We both like to be the shot caller. We both like to be the HBIC in general. Like, am I lying?
You're not lying.
So I feel like that is something that I wish I would have known more about.
I'm definitely looking at Aquarius like, but I'm the HBIC though.
But I'm
Body
also
language. I'm working out to my sis like, yes, bitch, I feel it. And I was I'm kidding, I'm sorry. But yeah.
I'm sure it's a Scorpio side, like for real.
No. Let me say no. One of my besties is a Scorpio, and the level of intensity is very similar. He and I go through a lot of similar things when it comes to just like interpersonal relationships in general. So like a lot of the things that apply to Aquarius when it comes to how people view us apply to Scorpio too. The only thing is like people are like used to like considering Scorpios toxic, that they don't necessarily talk about it as much anymore, whereas like now people are like, oh, Aquarians are heartless and this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, literally both of us came from, we told y'all what needed to happen and y'all didn't listen, and we did it mad times, and then here y'all go acting like nobody told y'all later when the shit hits the fan. That's literally all of our both Aquarian and Scorpio experience, period. Like so
Actually, a lot of people don't know much about Aquarius.
yeah, they think they do, but they can't. We're always like 5 years ahead of them anyway, so they can't like ever catch up to the situation. I mean, it's true. How many times 5 years later that somebody came to you and either said, "Oh, you was right about that," or somebody told you the thing that you said 5 years ago as though you didn't say it?
Right.
Come on. But anyway, you go first.
Wait, what was I forgot the thing. Oh, okay.
Kanye Jim.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I want to deepen what you two said. Like, I had So I've been in long-term relationships before. We've been together 7 years now,
Oh,
engaged
nice.
for 2. Um, and
Congratulations on that first though, 'cause that's really big,
Yeah, that's really
especially within our community. Like y'all know, and we know, it really is
it's
big.
all.
Thank you.
thank you.
As a woman now.
It's been work. So like to say like I did not know what compromise and consideration was before like I met them.
No.
And like they're the first person, like I was in another relationship for about like 3 years. Um and like dated people for like a year, like 6 months. Like I'm a Libra, like we love love. What can I say? But they're the first person I ever lived with. Like literally like we met up, we talked, they came over to my crib and I'm like, okay, you need to sit here. Like you're not leaving.
Literally.
That's literally what happened. And moved them into my
I had a
apartment.
key like week 2, like that ass
Like I knew, and I was just
lesbians
like,
down.
I didn't
You
know
wanted-
what it took though to live with another person. I was just like, okay, I'm like 30 now. I am ready to take my relationship to this next place. So it's just like, and like I was scared, but I'm just like, you feel this way, you haven't felt this way, and you've been in other relationships. Do it, fuck the fear, just do it. And we
Right.
did it, and we've been doing it. But I did not realize how inconsiderate I was as a person that lived on their own. Like I lived on my own since I was 20, and then like at 30, I was 30, like 31 when we met. Moving someone into my space. I had a roommate when I was 20 for like a year, and then everything after that, like I lived on my own. So it was just like, oh yeah, like you just used to doing your shit your own way, and a relationship is compromise and like commitment and like gelling on things, and it's a unit. Like you got to think about both of y'all, and I didn't know how to do that in the beginning. And I've been working on it. I'm not. I feel like I'm more like I have my inconsiderate moments because like I'm like I could be selfish sometimes. And I think sometimes being so connected to somebody else, like there's this little like childish need in me to like want to be selfish, but that never like with an aquarium that never works out well. That never works out well. The second, like, oh no, you're just being selfish because you want to be selfish, and I'm like, fuck, God.
And it's that part of Libras that we can't stand. Not the part that it's not the part about being selfish. It's the part that like, why get caught? Just tell me. Just be like, hey, it's selfish time. I'd be like, felt. I'm a only child, so like, and I'm an only child and a finicky eater, right? So I mean, literally one equals the other, but to be both, right? Is like, if I like this, I'm not sharing this because it's like one of the few things that I like. And that is something that I'm transparent with. To me, that is one thing that I wish I understood how like difficult it is for people to be transparent. Like it's not easy even when you are used to it, right? Like when you care about somebody, it's like, oh, like I really wish this was not going to be hurtful. Or I really wish this wasn't going to be a thing. You know, even in being transparent, it feels hard because you're like, I don't want to make you feel like you are obligated to follow this or do this boundary or know this thing about me even, right? There's always that thing that, mothers tell their daughters that there should always be an air of mystery, right? But nonetheless, that air of mystery creates all kinds of like problems in that the ability to compromise becomes more difficult. Like you can't compromise with someone you don't know. So you have to be really transparent and let them know all of the shit. Like, what are your sexual proclivities? What do you like in a person's look. Like, do you fuck with the fact that this is how a nigga like dresses sometimes? Do you fuck with how a nigga dresses on a regular basis? Because how, you know, how I would go to the store. What is it that this is about? What is it that that is about? Do you like how I talk to you? Do you this, then the third? How do you prefer to be talked to? How much time do you need to process things? These are things that you then have to like think about or know in order to be transparent about in the first place. But then revealing this to a person, you love them or not, doesn't make it any easier. You want them to see you in a way that you think really is in your own brain, that you think they will be and continue to be attracted to. So we're programmed to believe that once you give them the truth, then like the first thing that they're going to do is run and hide. But it's like, no. If you like Backdoor Sluts 9 from South Park, you know what I'm saying? If
Right.
you want us, if you know that film extremely well, say it was a real film, and you know it and you wish you still had access to it, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna say grab that shit. You know what I'm saying? But your partner should know, and if they
Right.
don't want to be with a person that wants to consistently watch Backdoor
That's not the
Sluts
person
9,
for you.
that's that. You'll be in the better relationship with the person that like knows all of your tea.
Yeah.
And then you can be more easily compromising with that person. It's easier to just
Right.
be like,
And that's how you know when you're really in love. Like, that was really it for me, because it's just like, you like being honest about like certain things. I'm like, oh, that shit don't mind me at all. And it's like, oh wait, I really love this nigga. It's like, oh, that's a little weird, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, I really agree. Like at the end of the day, sometimes compromise is compromising, and knowing when too much is too much. That's really important too, because you're gonna sit trying to change a person, and then you're gonna just self-destruct in the end. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta know when to call quits for sure.
true.
Because not everybody's compatible. You know, some things you could just leave, but some things you just can't. If you can't, then definitely get out of there before it gets worse.
These are facts.
Very true.
Facts are facting. Okay, before we move into our next segment, I have to pee. So we're gonna take a little break. Like, I'm gonna keep like the
Bounce that ass.
and that is the trunk, and that's where we unpack things in pop culture, like social issues, like word around the hood. Sometimes really have made it in to the trunk segment. So tonight we're gonna be talking about personally like one of my favorite celebrity couples. Like I have no shame. I love the Kardashians and I love Ye. Like, I love them both. So when they got together, I was like, it's not gonna work. But
They know B and J.
so let's watch this little video together, y'all. And this segment, we're really gonna focus on toxic traits and sharing your relationship on social media, because we've all been in the Kim and the Kanye group chat as far as like their divorce has been concerned. So yeah, let's get into it.
Kim Kardashian basically wants nothing to do with Kanye West at this point after all their divorce drama. Let's get into the latest going on between the former couple. For the few Kim-Ye shippers left, because we know there are still a few of you out there, things are not looking likely in terms of a Kim Kardashian and Kanye West reconciliation.
But I think this is a really good change.
At this point in the Kim-Ye divorce saga, Kim is officially ready to be donezo with her marriage to Ye. And even though she filed for divorce all the way back in February of 2021, their divorce proceedings are still in progress, much to Kim's disappointment. In recent court docs obtained by Entertainment Tonight, Kim explicitly says she very much desires to be divorced.
So I gotta be real with you guys.
She claimed to the court, Kanye has been putting a lot of misinformation regarding our private matters and co-parenting on social media, which has created emotional distress. Yeah, if your former significant other is using the phrase emotional distress to describe the pain you caused them, there's very little hope of ever getting back together. An ET source reveals that Kim is just ready to move on with her life and prioritize what she needs now. The insider went on to add that Kim has been continuing to focus on herself, her children, family, and her work. The back and forth with Kanye has been incredibly draining and upsetting for her. They also explained that she has been trying to move on with her life and take care of herself, and Kanye's actions have made it difficult to do so. Yeah, we're guessing it's gonna be harder to move on if your ex is constantly airing out your personal life on social media. And apparently, the only type of relationship Kim potentially wants with Ye going forward is a co-parenting one. The ET source said Kim only wants a healthy co-parenting relationship with Kanye, and other than that, she doesn't want anything to do with him right now. It just makes us sad to see that things have gotten to this point between people who once loved each other.
But now my feelings have changed. You don't think I feel bad?
But throughout this difficult divorce drama, Pete Davidson has reportedly been right by Kim's side, helping her get through it. ET's source shared that Pete has been supportive of Kim, and they are staying positive about their relationship and enjoying how things are going. Well, we stand a supportive and loving boyfriend that will go the distance to make sure his significant other is okay. We also stand healthy relationships in general so that no one is in emotional distress. Let's hope for the sake of everyone involved, especially the children, Kim and Ye can cultivate a healthy relationship in the near future, whatever that relationship ends up being. For more details on Kim and Kanye's drama, click right over here for another clever news video. Then head to the comments and let us know what you think about Kim only wanting a co-parenting relationship with Kanye at this point. I think this makes total sense based on everything that has unfolded on social media.
All right.
First off, no. First off, the way that she started that like that and everything like that, everything, all of her sources, all of her information and everything is so biased and it's fucked up because it's like they're not covering anything related to Kanye, how Kanye feels, what's going on with Kanye. It's all about Kim. Kim is the bigger celebrity, so of course, they're going to cover her more, unfortunately. I mean, Ye is really a big celebrity. Trust me, Ye is up there. Everybody knows that Ye is up there, but that was biased. Like, that was all about her. I would like to hear, I know personally both sides of the story, you know what I mean? So I can't really say that it's really fucked, but it's like, she should have covered both more. She should have covered his point of view and Kim's point of view.
I fully agree with that. No, I fully agree with that. I was sitting there watching it like, oh, like this is very, we are gung ho, like on the side of this white woman, and we are gonna give her all of the flowers, let her divorce go well. Oh my God, she had to resort to Pete Davidson's long shlongs and get out of there, fucking snap out of it mentally. How dare Kanye put her through that?
He did?
Oh my God! First of all, if you're gonna date Ariana Grande, that is a quite literal requirement.
Oh, she's a size queen.
Down.
Yeah, we're in the street for a lot. P to swinging like that. That's Hollywood like rebound P.
Like, and he's never been happier. Okay, like yes,
he getting a lot of clout off of this.
But imagine going black and going.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was. I'm like, how do you go from black dick to that pink dick, and then like you're just like fully satisfied by that? You know what I mean? So him having 10 inches, that's the only thing that makes sense to me in this scenario.
Allegedly, we don't know the exact count, but 10 seems to be the one that the cis women really like to say they like.
I mean, I don't think it's the size of the dick. If I'm being honest. You don't have to defend my girl, Kim.
All right, so what did you think
about this?
I just think the way he is as a person, his personality is trash. And that's just my opinion. I don't know too much. I didn't do many research. I didn't do so much research on the whole Kim and Kanye little situation. But I'm not gonna just
Maybe
have my
it's-
girl.
maybe-
I'm not gonna have my girl
maybe-
Kim
I think
be thrown underneath the bus.
I think my man is feeling them shots and he's just saying whatever at this point.
but I feel him if he's a fan, he gonna stick by his girl. But you don't feel like that report was a little one sided though, dead ass.
It was.
Okay, that's all we saying. I'm not even
That's
saying
what
that it's
we-
incorrect. Like I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done my little research or whatever. But like, am I staying in their house? No. Could I completely like take over a fly to find out whether or not they are doing whatever it is they're saying they're doing? Sure, but who wants to do all of that, and who has the children to sacrifice for that?
No.
So we've got to like literally just go by what we see. But nonetheless, like I agree. Kanye has been whack since his mother died. You know what I'm saying? And it's been, and I don't mean whack musically, but whack just in the soul. Like his soul has been gone since his mother died. It's true.
I think that's an especially sensitive time for him. And her being his wife, she's supposed to support him through this time. Like, you know that your man is on the verge of a mental fucking breakdown because of everything that happened. Like, he literally lost his
But
mom.
she did though.
She
She
sure did.
really did
What?
everything she could. And
I don't
Kim's a
think she
Libra
was prepared.
also. Kim's a Libra also. So I'm gonna have to say, like, she.
But
tried.
Kim should have did more because y'all got a whole fucking schoolyard of kids together and shit. And it's like you're not sitting there and like, no, for real. It's like that's ridiculous. Like you're not sitting there, you at this point, that's your man and you're gonna stick by him. That's what you gotta go by. Like, damn.
But how much? Everybody has a limit. Every woman has a breaking point, y'all.
If it would be different, it would be. I feel like I am somewhat neutral in this because I like don't care. But like I agree with like both of you in that like one, when you marry a person, till death do us part has to be a legitimate goal. Like you can't like run, you know what I'm saying, when it gets quote unquote too hard. You gotta be inside too hard for a while, in my opinion, right? But same time, I don't think she understood what she was dealing with. I don't think she fully understood what she was dealing with and what she was signing up for and what she was coming into. I feel like a lot of times, sometimes Libras get very into how they're feeling but don't understand their own motivations behind what it is that they're doing, right? So they get into situations that seem very ideal aesthetically but don't have the meat that they actually really want, and then running.
Wait,
Run.
you said meat for me.
I said meat. And the world can take that in whichever way they want to.
Get it loud and clear for the people, right?
That they really want, and they make their adjustments and do the thing because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be okay with your life, and if you're not okay with your life, you have to make your life okay. You know, so like, I'm okay. I'm absolutely here with women just fucking getting the fuck out, especially when they start doing things like when he started trying to control what she wore in terms of like after for so long, literally mailing her slutty ass garments to put on to then say, oh no, my wife ain't gonna be wearing none of him. Hey, you said you put a fist in her like a civil rights sign. That's what you said. That's what you said on Yeezy. That's what came out your mouth. We know where your fist has been.
Me can't.
So, I mean, you did it to her. So, I mean, if you're going to have a legitimate conversation with her and be like, hey, babe, I think it is time as a mother of my kids, as a, you know what I'm saying, like, Kanye doesn't seem to be the one to sit down with Kim like that. It's like, oh, she put on something she felt like wearing in the first place. There was probably an issue there. And then if it was a little too revealing, it was like, oh, nah, you going outside like that, like niggas do because they think that that's what they're supposed to do and that's what protection look like, right? It's like you have a conversation. This person has autonomy. Like you said, you got to compromise. You have to be like, hey, so I know you have to take accountability first. To me, like that's the first thing you have to do whenever you're coming at anybody, right? Especially in your relationship. You have to, especially if something is different for you, right? You have to say, hey, so I know that when I came into this motherfucker, I came in and was very attracted to everything that you're giving right now. However, in this current state of being, I'm not in the same place. And I think based on the circumstances they're in, we should adjust said everything right here.
That's cute. That's very Aquarian of you. But Kanye is a Gemini. I don't know if you have.
But I mean, like, right or wrong.
I understand it 100%. But at the same time, I just don't think that the situation was serious enough for her to even call for a divorce. Like, he didn't cheat on you. He didn't do nothing. It's like, at this point, it's given very much. You got everything that you could have got out of that man already. You know what I mean? And now you on to the next one. Like, that's what the Kardashians do. That's how I feel personally. So I can't really, like, all right, we're going to talk facts in a few, but that's my opinion. It's like, that's what the Kardashians do. They take everything that they can from a person. They do what they can, you know what I mean? They milk people so that they can stay relevant. And then look at what happened. Because the man didn't cheat on you. He didn't do, like, he really didn't do nothing to you. He was like,
he did abandon her in the middle of the pandemic before children.
His stance on it was very understandable. It was very understandable. You don't think so? I'm not talking about everything overall because he was wilding the hell out. Y'all know he was wilding the fuck out. But I mean, like, his stance on just, listen, we have kids. I want to devote my life to church. I want to do all of that. Her being on board with that as his wife at her age, not wanting to go through with that, that's like a little bit.
I think you can't force religion on anybody, regardless. Especially you can't force it like in this day and age.
Wait, Kim's not religious?
No. When does Kim says that she's into Yahweh?
They go to church.
I mean, but you think Kim actually is up in there worshiping the Lord?
But the thing about that was, like, he wanted to move to Montana and live on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, and her whole life is based in LA or her family there. She wasn't with it, and he did it anyway. And left her with 4 kids in the middle of the pandemic.
There was no compromise on either end of that conversation. That's the thing. Like, there was no compromise on either end of these podiums. They were very much just debating, and nobody came up and said, "Hey, so this is how we do this together." Y'all are fucking wealthy. Why y'all can't do both? How dare y'all? How dare y'all both be a Gemini and a Libra, which is a very both ass motherfuckers, and not think both? Your kids don't have to be in LA with you, Kim. And at the end of the day, when the kids want to be in LA, Kanye, there's no reason they shouldn't be in LA with their fucking mother. Simple. Now, at the end of the day, what we're really talking about, the thing that really got me was that whole controlling of her body. Like,
but she liked it, though.
She liked it when there was some shit that didn't necessarily have to go towards some religious zealot.
True.
Like, it's like, oh, now I have to, like, dress up and be modest. Like, wait a minute, that's not how we got here. That's not how a bitch makes any of her coin. That's not what we're doing. Like, can we have more of this conversation? And then it's like, oh, on Twitter, I don't want my kids to be with someone, well, to be the child of a hoe or some shit that he said.
Well, speaking of that,
you knew she was a hoe, but
that's my point.
That was America's
You knew.
No.
It's very.
It's true.
They staged the whole shit with Ray J in order for this to go down.
I mean, it doesn't matter if she was a hoe or not. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be taken on to social media.
We gotta be
but it's about him being okay that she's a hoe.
Everything mature for that.
Yeah.
I must say, I feel like anything that happens behind closed doors should stay behind closed doors, and he shouldn't have brought anything to social media because at the end of the day, we wouldn't know what happened. And I'd rather it be like that. Period.
I don't mind. For me, I'm like, if you're especially if you're gonna be a celebrity or if you need to have any level of fame, if you're gonna do something, you should be prepared for that shit to be brought to light. If you're gonna do something, you should be prepared for that shit to be shown to every single body. I cannot stand a person who says that they want to be in this music industry or in this entertainment industry that got a problem with TMZ. How dare you? We've all seen TMZ. We all know what their job is, and at the end of the day, their job quite literally helps your ass be relevant. How dare you have a problem with the paparazzi? That's one of my issues with Kanye too. It's like, how dare you be mad? You knew what this was. You could be upset that it's hard and you don't like it and things. You could not like it, but you can't be mad at people doing their job and everything that they're doing helps you be you. Seriously. So if you're gonna have some fame, then expect your shit to be on social media unless you get the Beyonce situation where you understand how to hide that shit, unless you get the Jill Scott situation and understand how to just give what you really want and then like never tell anybody anything else. There's ways to do it, but I mean, when's the last time somebody asked for a Jill Scott record?
Well,
Yeah.
I want one, but when's the last? She's not relevant. She could be.
Our question, based off all of like this that we've discussed, is hashing out, because we've all been in a group chat with Kim and Kanye. Like a lot of this has like unfolded on social media between the both of them. Hashing out your relationship issues on social media. Do, don't, like why not? Like anybody can hit this one first, really. Personally, I feel like it's a don't for me. Because sometimes people may capture like a moment in time and you and your partner might resolve that or like work to sort of overcome that, and then the people are like will hold on to that one moment in time. And having shit like that you've sort of like processed, you know, brought back up, or like having that just like in like the zeitgeist, it's not healthy. And even just like there's better ways to communicate to me. Like I don't see myself personally getting to the point where I have to like put it out for like potentially strangers to sort of put their 2 cents in, because they have no stake. Like
For
friends
sure.
and like family, or like people who are like close to you and like have like involvement in your life are different. But just like in general, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What do y'all think? I'll answer after y'all.
I don't think so. I don't like having nobody involved in my situation, like period, you know, because at the end of the day, I feel like whatever I'm gonna do. If I have a conversation with you about something, let's say if I go and I have a conversation with you, oh, listen, this is happening, I'm feeling like this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, the decision that I make is gonna be my decision only. So why do it in the first place? Because at the end of the day, you're going to do what you're going to do regardless. And that's what a lot of people that actually bring their drama and stuff to social media do. They're going to sit, they're going to talk their shit. I feel like it's an attention thing most of the time. You know, they want to get attention from the other person. So instead of doing that, why don't you just have a conversation with the other person? You know what I mean? There's really no reason to bring like your personal relationship issues to social media, especially if you're not 100% done with the person, because that's all that's going to do is, just like how you said, that's going to bring more problems. It's going to have people looking at the relationship only from the situation that they know, instead of really looking at the relationship and understanding the relationship for what it is. What are we going through? Did we work on that? Are we doing better now? You know what I mean? Oh, they're doing better now. This happened, but they're doing better. Like nobody cares about that. It's like once you make any type of mistake, that sticks with people, especially when they're not dealing with you on a day-to-day. So I feel like it's way more important. It's very important to keep your situation strict with you. If you're breaking up and that's it, then talk your shit. Talk your shit. But after you sure that everything is 100% done, talk your shit. Because you don't want to look like a fool out here.
No,
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I definitely agree with you. I feel like whatever, like I said before, whatever happens behind closed doors should just stay there. It shouldn't be onto social media, because like he said, it's gonna give other people a reason to talk about you, but in a negative way. It's like, you know, especially them two, they have a really big platform where everybody is like looking up to them, they want to be them, you know, there's different things that people's thinking. And it's like, you know, for them to just throw everything on social media, not really her, But Kanye throwing everything on social media is like, it's not like what are you getting out of that? You're just looking real stupid. And I just don't think that anything should be thrown on Twitter, social media in general, about your relationship or what's going on in life.
Also, people are really quick to judge in this day and age. You know what I mean? Instead of really sitting there and trying to understand the situation, people are quick to come to a conclusion because conclusions are way easier, than actually sitting there and thinking like, oh, well, maybe this happened because of this, and maybe this is the outcome of this because of So honestly, yeah, your business should be your business. But I also agree with what you said. Once you become a social media influencer and all of that, your job is like you're literally getting paid by the public. So you can't really sit there and feel like that. So we have to really reevaluate that, but not yet.
But we can be like Beyonce and Jay-Z. Nobody knows shit about them.
Well, that's a little different too because y'all are influencers together a lot. You know what I'm saying? And the relationship is the content. So y'all could benefit from letting people into your relationship personally a little bit more from that standpoint. That's not
in a positive way.
In a positive way, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, you do have to talk about, if you're gonna go on social media and talk, you got to talk about everything. You can't just talk about the bad things. And also for me, as I'm again, intense bitch, right? Intense bitch. People run from me saying things to them directly. People literally think me being like, hey, so this that you did crossed a boundary, that's a little bit wild. Can we talk about why? What is it about what I did that made you think that was okay? Did I do something to you that was harmful to you? You know what I'm saying? I'll be literally asking these questions and they're like, oh, it's conflict and run, right? So this is beyond, you know what I'm saying, just me and Pat, right? So it's sometimes for me, I need to just say a thing in the room and be like, and if you catch it, then that means you know what you did. And now I can delete it if niggas care. A lot of times people don't be even seeing the shit that I put. And we can talk about it for real because now I feel like you'll actually listen to what's being said. Because before, there would be this kind of dismissal of what's being said until I can even sometimes have people say what it is that they think about what it is that I said. It'll be like, okay, well, and sometimes I don't get people that agree with me, and I love that. That'd be my favorite shit. Like, oh, I'm wilding. Oh, thank God, because I would rather not be right now. You know what I'm saying? Great, I'm speeding. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. Okay, well, this person says I'm speeding. This person agrees with me. Doom, 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 doom. Let's talk about it because a lot of times, yes, we are going to be in relationship and that's it for us and we are in this room, but so many things get swept under the rug and so many people end up in situations that they can't escape because nobody knows.
You don't think that has the potential to fracture the relationships that you have going with other people, though? Bringing up certain things that.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. You have to absolutely do it with a willingness to deal with that as a consequence, for sure.
So I think that
in my mind, if you did something that made me feel like either I went to have a conversation with you and that didn't work, or I felt driven to go to social media, to me, the action in the first place meant that you felt like this was okay to throw away.
Yeah.
Before I even got to social media. What you did in the first place is the thing that got me here. So it's not. So again, but what people do, people got to do things that you can't do things in the dark. Whatever happens in the dark comes to light, and all the things that you do in your house will eventually be known by the people who need to know.
Right.
And that's just what it is. So that level of transparency should be had in-house and in-house mostly, right? But if y'all don't necessarily have a community of people that can disagree with you and can tell you the truth and agree with you when you absolutely right, and that y'all feel comfortable going to having a conversation together, because sometimes y'all are both too in it to actually get it right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all too focused and having your own experience and everybody thinks their experience is 100% right, and not everybody is able to be like, okay, well, I see where you're coming from. And even if you're with a person that is able to see where you're coming from, a lot of times that just makes things one-sided, and then the resentment comes. So you need a level of community to somewhat be in your relationship. Like you said, like if you have some blood family that you're like, yeah, you know, if you have a mom that will come to the house and cook y'all something and be like, all right, sit the fuck down, what the fuck's happening here? You know what I'm saying? And do their best to, of course, protect their child, but try to save the relationship and try to work the relationship out. That's the best case scenario. Unfortunately, as queer people, that's not the case for us on in multiple ways. So sometimes it be strangers. There be times, I mean, and my relationship with strangers is a little different. Sometimes strangers will come up to me and literally read me for filth, like, and be like, baby, I don't know why you letting this, that, dirt happen, and this, that, and the third, and just freaking read me. And I'll be like, wait a minute, who are you? You know? You ever had that homeless person just tell you your life?
Thank God.
That's never happened. That happens to me all the time. And lately they've been praising me, so bitch has been doing good. But nonetheless, they still come in and tell me my whole life. So I don't have this like secretive relationship with strangers. I feel like everybody knows my tea anyway. You know? But I understand what y'all are saying. Like, it's not, I don't believe that you go every time. I think my personal run to social media happens when there's a pattern that I feel like I personally cannot seem to get across and get broken.
I
You
understand.
know?
That's, I mean, so then that does go back into what I was saying before, though. Then, like, for sure, I feel like if it's necessary, if you know what I mean, if you already had a conversation with the person initially, then it's like, for sure, go for that. Fuck that. At the end of the day, fuck your feelings, because you didn't give a fuck about my feelings when you was doing what you was doing. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and if you feel the type of way, then we deal with that like that. And if we could rekindle after that, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? I just, I'm applying that to everybody in general, though. Like, that's just, I would rather it be something that happened multiple times before I get to that point.
Same.
But
I'm the same way.
Yeah. I thought that you meant in like first time, like, do you
Oh,
do
hell
that?
no! See, but people, like people in this instant gratification nation, you know what I'm saying? Like, people do everything
do
off the
do
initial
that.
reaction.
For
Absolutely,
real.
I don't even like half the time people don't get my initial reactions. I'm quick, so maybe it seems like that, but it'd be like the third reaction that you're getting in the first place. Like, if somebody disrespected me, it'd be like, was that disrespect? You can ask, babe. This happened literally this morning. I'd be like, was that disrespect?
All in the group chat. But so, like, this actually leads into our final segment for the night. Oh.
The room.
So the root is where we really get into, second to last segment, is where we get into like the deep part of
It's annoying.
So we're here, and the question for our root segment is: ask your partner a question you think they should ask themselves.
All right, y'all ready for your shot
You
first?
want us to go first?
After
We're
the
waiting
shot.
for the shot.
Shots.
Oh,
Shot skis. Cheers.
cheers.
I know you're not about to throw back that whole cup.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna go first. So
You got one?
I do. It's actually something.
You're gonna have to go
Why
down.
does the ignorance of others affect you so deeply?
Ooh.
Wait, what was the question?
I mean,
Why does the ignorance of others affect you so deeply?
this is such a multi-layered question. I know myself really well, so this is not something I have to think about. But this is such a multi-layered question. I guess the one that's I consider interesting in the moment. The answer to that I consider interesting in the moment is I wasn't allowed to be ignorant, and the idea of ignorance meant death for me in multiple ways. From how my mother raised me to literally just being queer and chocolate brown. It was like I needed to know everything about my surroundings. I needed to know everything in order to measure up to get any opportunities. I needed to know everything in order to stay, useful, in order to maintain any level of connection to anybody, because it didn't seem like anybody cared about the stuff that went on inside of me. So it was like I didn't connect to too many people on a emotional level. It was always like, oh well, what can you do, right? And um, even from the family. So what do you know? What can you do? What can you offer? And when people are comfortable or like steeped in their ignorance, beyond the fact that I wasn't allowed to, I at least very much understand why it's not conducive to like the shit that we actually need as a society or as a people that should be trying to break the current society that we're in. Is like, oh shit, we actually all can't afford to be ignorant. Ignorance is truly bliss because you're able to move through this society as though it's correct because you're ignorant of the fact that it isn't. But like the people who say the system is broken. That's an ignorant ass statement. The system is working as it's designed to work. So there's nothing broken about it. It wasn't designed to work for your queer colored ass. That simple. So when people say things like that, and then the mindset that is shaped around such ignorance, it keeps us exactly where we are. So the juxtaposition of wanting to be able to not know something and just longing, and I mean, I'm the kind of person who will say, if I don't know something, I'll say I don't know and I'll ask a question. But to not need that information, right, would be really nice for me. I would love that. I would love to release the need for all the information, and I'm working on that. Same time, I would love for niggas to pick up some fucking information. Pick it up, because we gotta know, because like if we don't understand what we're dealing with, then we're gonna think that we can vote emancipation back in when they take it away, after they take Roe v. Wade, and after they take marriage equality, and after they take voting rights. They're gonna take emancipation. So we need to be able to see this pattern before it happens, so we can go slice. And ignorance is the reason that we can't ever see that pattern. So that's two answers for you. Sorry, I tried to make it short, but it had to come together.
All right, I guess you can ask me now.
And I have been thinking about it. I have, what I'm saying, I have a few, but
I'm nervous now.
why do you feel like hiding your hand is your safest bet still?
In terms of our relationship, I think that it's become an unconscious thing at this point, because I have to do it so much in like my waking life. Like we talked about this before, like being like a Black queer person in like a professional space, especially in academic space. I've learned to like not show people how smart I am or like exactly what I'm thinking all the time, because that helps with advancement. And I think I've applied that into our relationship dynamic, where like that's something that doesn't fit and doesn't work. And so it's kind of like trying to like not bring that into this like the space of our relationship, but like also like having to do it like every day. It's hard to like flick that switch off.
Fucking capitalism, fucking white supremacy, all up in my. I don't want these white supremacist notes in my Black ass relationship. Y'all have no idea what that's about, and it's fine. That's an inside joke that only 7 people are gonna get if they watch this.
But really, even us watching like the Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin interview when she was like, "Lie to me, like you do it for these crackers all day," and I'm just like you smile and whatever, and I try not to bring that home, but also like I've realized because this has been like a point of contention for us that I'm also bringing the like negative shit that people of color have to do to survive out in the world into my relationship.
Right.
And like with you, your anti-colonial ass, like it's not gonna work.
Like if we
And
can't be
I
free
don't mean to. I
nowhere.
can honestly say I don't mean to.
Yeah.
I don't mean to.
I know that. I know that now. Like to me, I'm like, if we're gonna do anything while we're in this, and I'm gonna let the floor go for the rest of the evening if I have to. If we do anything as people in relationship with each other in a society that forces us to be individualistic, in a society that makes us literally have to exploit each other by quite literally just making money. Every check we make, you exploit somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like really seriously, like you can go back. I explained it too many times in multiple episodes in the past. So go back
Pretty
and
much
get it.
all episodes.
Every episode. But at the end of the day, like in a society where that is what you have to do, where a person like me is internalizing that and personalizing that every time I go to work, right? We at the very least owe it to each other to be nice to each other in the house. We at the very least owe it to each other to understand each other and validate each other's trauma and validate each other's experiences, even of each other, in the house. Because we have so much invalidation going on outside this motherfucker quite literally every day just for being a person of color, let alone being a person with a dick that like dick, let alone being a person with a dick that like to put on a fucking wig and some eyelashes, let alone being a person with a dick that identifies as both a man and a woman and has to fucking mitigate people not understanding where their pronouns lie today. Being a person that is essentially a non-diasporic trans woman that still accepts he because it's easier and because, I mean, like, the piece is the piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be wanting to literally be like, babe, you need to make people call you she because it's like it's a thing. Like they need to like do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you deserve. But like I understand the fucking need for peace. But nonetheless, whatever like we're killing ourselves, whatever we're killing in ourselves in order to achieve that peace might not be worth it. And it might be worth having even more integrity, standing up and being like, this is some fuck shit, even if people say you can't be here then.
Word. And thank you for that. Like, I see that fully. So just to remind people what the question is ask your partner a question you think they should ask themselves. So we're going to give the floor to y'all. And, so, you know, whoever wants can go first, and we're going to give you the main stage.
You go first. Oh, I didn't really think about this. So, I guess my question is, when someone says something negative to you, why or I'm trying to see how to put this in the right word. Don't laugh at me. I had too many shots. You have a question for me?
Yeah, I just try to read quickly.
All right. So when somebody mentions something negative to you, why is it the first response you give to them is a negative response back?
Me?
This is a general question, but this is a question I have for you as well.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like that's a really toxic trait that I have that I like, you know, I'm ongoing, continuously trying to work on. I just feel like at a point in my life, like before, I used to feel like I needed to like prove a lot of things to people before, honestly. And like not even necessarily proved, all right, no. I had felt like I needed to prove a lot of stuff to people at a point, you know. So responding in any type of way, negatively, positively, whatever the case may be, no, this is negative. I'm fucking drunk. I'm not even staying on the damn topic. Like, this is ridiculous. When I respond to people negatively, I feel like the majority of the time I need to let people know that what the fuck they did bothered me and it's not okay. I feel like, you know, a lot of stuff that people do is not okay.
So basically putting them in
And
place.
you putting them in their place by you responding negatively to begin with. Because it's like, why do so many people think that it's all right to, like, you know, do things to people? It really depends on the context, the way that you ask that question. But if we're talking about to strangers in general, because you know that I'm the type of person, like, I would pull over and hop out the car and be sitting there ready to go back and forth with somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you cut me off, you did whatever, like, all right. So as it relates to strangers, I really feel like I do that because I want to let a person know, like, what you did is not okay. You don't know what anybody's going through ever in their life. You know what I mean? It's just not okay to sit there and to, you know, make somebody feel worse. You know, and I feel like living in the city that we do, especially, a lot of people are just, everybody's on the same time. Everybody's ready to jump down your throat, let you know what you're not doing, you know? But what about you, you know? I got to this point because of you, bitch. So it's like, if you feel like, no, I got to this point because of you. So I'm going to let you know that at the same time, like, and if I look crazy while I'm doing it, I bet you're going to still get the message in the end, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's why I do it. Like, even with people that I know, with people that I know personally, it's like, I feel like I do it for the same exact reason. And if you know me, then you were still clear of that in the first place. Like, I don't really go through that with people personally that I know. But if it was to get to a situation like that, I feel like it would be with a friend, with somebody who hasn't known me for as long, because I keep my circle short, like small, for that reason. I'm a no-nonsense person. You know what I mean? I like what I like. I deal with what I want to deal with. And that's just that. And those strangers, they just get in the end of that because they don't know me. But that's the whole point.
I respect that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. Asking my question.
Why do you feel like you need to...
All right, spicy.
All right.
No, go ahead, ask the question.
Why do you feel like you need to... All right, well, what's the question? Yeah, let me see. I'm going to ask you it properly.
The question is, ask me a question. I think that ask me a question, I should ask myself.
Why do you feel like you need to post everything on social media? This is a good question for YouTubers too.
Yeah.
Really.
So I feel like it's just I just feel like it's something that I use. All right, so I use social media as a, you know, it's my platform.
I got a couple questions for him too. Yeah, like that's not the only one. I don't know if I could do this right now in the segment, but I have just a couple of questions in general. Can I do that? Is that okay?
I feel like we can go back and forth a little bit about this for sure. If people are comfortable, and we will cut this and put that on the Patreon.
It will be, yes. This segment will be on the Patreon.
So should I ask the best question first? Then
ask the best question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to answer your question? You just asked me.
No. I'm gonna ask you a better one because I got a couple. So then they can add the rest of the Patreon. All right.
Aquarius.
Why do you... I really had the same question, but I really didn't want to ask the same question as them. But I really had, like, my question was a form of their question. Why do you feel like... Why do you let what people think bother you so much, baby? Like, why do you...
That's a really good question. And honestly, I just feel like growing up, and my situation, I wasn't a really outside person, so I was just around family, and the family I was around just was there to support me in every step of the way. So it's just now getting into the social media situation I'm in now is like or even not even just social media, it's just me being outside, or just me living life myself. It's like people throwing negativity my way, and I'm just like, I'm not used to that type of thing. So it's of course it's gonna bother me. I'm just like, all right, you know what? When I was a little bit more chubby, people calling me out of my name. I'm just like, yeah, that bothers me. So I automatically just defend myself. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. Like, that's all I know. Like, that's just all I knew what to do. Like, and that's all I did. I just defend myself. So just
But
me.
why do you feel like you need to defend
I'm getting to that. I feel like I need to defend myself because I'm not, like I said, I'm not used to people just coming after me and stuff like that.
Because you come from a family.
I come, a lot of love. So it's just like everything was just, everything just bothers me when it comes to like negativity and stuff like that.
You're not used to not being the glowing person in the room, because you definitely are like the celebrity of your family for sure. So I can understand that. So all right.
No, it's not.
Why? I think that's good.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just long story short, I'm not used to the negativity. Like, as you guys can see, I'm very like positive. I'm very open, and that's just how I was raised. Even like just growing up, that's just how I was in general. That's how my family is, and that's just how they are. That's just how I was raised. Me growing up, I wasn't an outside person, so I don't really know the streets how everyone else knows the streets. I know certain things about the streets. You understand? So of course that's gonna bother me. Any little thing is gonna like bother me, but I need to learn to just let it go, because haters is gonna be haters at the end of the day.
Why do you not know how to cook still though? Like, no, we're not gonna play yourself.
You've been eating good every day.
You're lying.
But yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about that? Let me get
Me?
How do I feel about his answer?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it, but at the same time, it's like I feel like people really shouldn't be that important in that aspect. I feel like I'm contradicting the shit out of myself, because I literally just said something almost closely related to this, but for this specific situation, I don't think people should be relevant.
I mean, I just want to.
it's a hard line, bro.
I'm sorry. I'll make it deeper into why I said what I said. It's just like me going into school, getting bullied, and then it's just like being a gay male, and then it's like I didn't even know my sexuality. So when people was like gay, I'm like, what the hell is like? What is gay? What is me being gay? What does that look like? Growing up, me, being in kindergarten or whatever the hell it was, I was always into.
Damn, you was gay since kindergarten.
I've been
bad since kindergarten. Shit.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, I was into dress up and playing with the Barbies with the girls. So it was like all the guys, all the boys was just looking at me like, all right, you know what? He's an outcast. So now when people throw that negativity out at me, it's just like I just feel like everything just replays in my head. So I just feel like I have to like defend myself, and I just have to tell them who the fuck I am.
Period.
And that's just how that is. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you guys are saying. Like, I need to just like let it go. Like, haters gonna be haters at the end of the day.
They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you that.
No, what you said. I'm sorry. Haters gonna be haters at the end of the day. So
Well,
I just let go and just like, think positive about the situation.
What I'm going to empower y'all as a couple, right, that I feel like helps us, even though it's something we both backslide on it and things of that nature, is that thing that you noticed, Rich. Yes, absolutely. Y'all said the same thing. Y'all need people to recognize who the fuck they fucking with, right? And at the end of the day, platform is not really important. All of the idea of thinking that the platform is different is the thing that will make y'all like judge what it is each other does, but y'all do the same thing, right? Somebody say something, get out of line, cross you, literally fucking cut you off on the road, literally say some shit wild online, you go off. Now, if that is something that you both feel like you need to work on, to me, what y'all need to do is in-house, instead of talking about the behavior, because essentially, again, like I said, if I'm doing the same thing, I don't have nothing to say about your behavior. But if instead of talking about the behavior, foster that feeling of baddest bitch, right? Y'all are both HBICs, so at the end of the day, people gonna like, and this is the same thing with us too. A little bit different. We approach the HBIC thing differently, so like it comes with certain different shit. But at the end of the day, like because y'all both HBICs, people gonna try you.
They will. They will.
They're gonna try you. So at the end of the day, if the best thing that Pat has done, especially recently, and I'm literally giving Pat this credit because it's not even something I would have come up with, but is when I'm like, yo, I'm about to go off this, down, the third. Pat be like, but you know that you this, down, the third. Like if you better than them, then you better than them. Okay, well if they not getting it, then they not getting it.
That also boosts your confidence as well. So it's like, you know,
Exactly.
I am that bitch.
And
Like,
it gives you something else to care about.
mhm.
It makes you care about that thing that you actually want, which is for somebody to know that you that bitch. And guess who knows that you're that bitch? The person that you live with. And that's more important than literally anybody. Like you said, it's more important than the fucking people online. It's more important than the people on the road. That the person that you're with knows these things about you, right? So, it might not stop the retaliation immediately. You might not stop defending yourself immediately, but eventually you'll be like, you know what? I don't have to argue with you because at the end of the day, I get to literally sleep in the bed and be all up under the person who really knows that I'm the shit on all cylinders, It's like, it doesn't mean that you don't get to critique each other about each other's behavior, but to me, especially when y'all do the same thing, you gotta be like, all right, we're the same here, so
Yeah.
let's give each other the thing that we're looking for here
One
instead
thing
of
I've been
like,
saying lately is like we need to work on this,
yeah,
and like that, like instead of like you need to stop doing da da da, and I was like, and it makes a big difference.
it really does.
It does. Our go-to segment where we take questions from y'all. So like our viewers, our watchers, our followers submitted some questions for tonight that we're gonna answer. And our first question for tonight, let me actually make this big so I can see. So this question is from Mona, and Mona says, I just started seeing someone that I really like and having a really hard time staying realistic. I keep getting into this dreamy headspace when I'm around them, and it's really easy for me to lose myself. How the heck do I stay grounded when I'm chemically head over heels?
Grab some garnet, girl. Get you a garnet stone and hold on. No, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I feel like being able to ask that question is a very good thing. You're in a better spot than you're giving yourself credit for, I guess. Noticing that you're in that dreamy state and being able to pull yourself back into reality is all you really need. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit to enjoy those dreamy states, and then there's those people who only fall and get all washed up in those dreamy states. You seem to be able to pull yourself out. Pull yourself out and look at what it is that you're looking at and be like, okay, am I being put in a dreamy state because of what's actually happening, or am I glamorizing some shit? And if you're not glamorizing it, if it's reality, then bitch, go back. Like, float, ho.
Is there anything y'all want to say? Like, I have an answer for this or some good advice?
I can't even give advice because I never even felt like that, like got like that to that point over a person, honestly. I really, like, honestly, I'm very bold. I will shoot my shot, and if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. I really never really had that situation where it was like I like somebody and I didn't shoot my shot, and it even if it did or it didn't go my way, I did what I did. I feel like the best advice that I could give to her is shoot your shot so that you can stay grounded, because then you're gonna know what's gonna happen already. Like, I either let the person know that you like them or leave it alone altogether. You know what I mean? Because sitting in that situation, like being in a workspace, being in whatever she's at, whatever she's doing, It's like it definitely is uncomfortable and it definitely is like weird. So get it off of your chest. Like don't hold that back. Like we only live one time. You might as well just go for it if you're gonna go for it, and then you don't need to worry about trying to work it out. Like I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it and get it off of my chest and get it out of my system.
But also, so not everybody have the same confidence that you have. So I can understand that she's a little bit, she's a little bit nervous. So I think I would say, like, for her sake, I think she should just think about it, her decisions, and what can be the outcome out of.
But she's asking how does she stay grounded. It seems like she's at a point where she doesn't want to say anything. So how does she stay grounded in the meantime? That's what she's asking. And I'm thinking, for me to stay grounded, I'm gonna ask you already. I'm gonna just ask you.
So yeah, I think she shouldn't ask. I think she should just
no. But how does she stay grounded then?
I don't know. I feel like she should just keep it to herself until she's ready.
But then, how does she stay grounded?
Well, I think like the overall point of the question is like when you have such intense feelings for someone, sometimes you don't take things at like face value.
Right.
Like they could be doing shitty things in your presence, and because you're so enamored at the moment, you just like
don't even see it.
Right.
Right.
And,
yeah.
Like for me, it's like you gotta kind of like just live in that space and just try to, as much as you can, keep pushing your faculties, journal.
Yeah.
Like look back on things like when y'all spend time together. Until like that type of enamoredness does kind of like taper down as like the relationship like grows and you become more comfortable with that person. Like it's not like sweaty palms every time I see you like forever.
Right.
Thank God. Like that would be fucked up. But like, yeah, it's one of those things you just have to wait out. But like, if you're like concerned with being conscious of it, write that shit down.
Yeah. And again, like you ask yourself the question. Like you were like, yo, like how do I I be getting hella dreamy, I be getting lost in the sauce. Like, yeah, that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like we all get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it be in the bedroom only and sometimes it be before you even get there. You know what I'm saying? There's that whole phenomenon that once niggas actually sleep with you and then they're like, man, it could be the best sex they ever had, but they're just like, man, I'm over it, right? They be lost in the sauce beforehand, you know what I'm saying? So they be feeling all the things that you would hope they'd feel during sex before it, you know? So it like people have their ways and the way that they like see things. I say that you're good. I say fucking like agreed, like live that dreamy life. Enjoy yourself, but always know that you gotta pull yourself back and see what's actually happening, and that's it.
The longer that you leave yourself inside a limbo, girl, the longer that you leave yourself inside a limbo and you don't know what you want to do, you know what I mean? I don't
think she's not seeing this person. They're like she says she's seeing them. So I don't think she hasn't like expressed. They're seeing each other. The issue is that she's lost in the sauce. The issue is that like when she's with this person, she's like, when she's with this person, she doesn't feel like she can like stand on anything solid. She feels like she's floating.
So play hard, play a little hard to get. They love that. I promise you. Play hard to get for a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily
that's some
being
shit.
Right. And she's not even trying to be effective to them. She just want to be able to like know that what she's seeing is real. Yeah, she just wants to be able to know that what she's experiencing is real. She wants to be able to be grounded, like you know what I'm saying. Like she's saying, it's not that she wants to be effective to him differently. She just wants to know when she just wants to know that what's happening is real. Really, she wants to know that she's not like in a fantasy while she seems to be living her fantasy.
Like the honeymoon phase. Like when you didn't notice that nigga like didn't put his trash immediately in the bin, but to the side and then would like collect it later.
Right.
Like but that like you like y'all was like fucking like 5 times a week.
Oh yeah, and you just don't
do faces, so you don't know what's going on.
Right.
So like in that space, how do you like be like, wait, what's really
who is
happening?
This person? Yeah.
I feel like maybe she just needs to just take a step back.
Did you have sex with him yet?
Like I'm pretty sure.
All right. Damn, she had sex and she still didn't get it out of her system yet.
That's what I'm about to say. Maybe she just needs to take
maybe she needed to get a nut.
I mean, I
What if
mean,
she?
most women.
we're like, with women, it's different. Like, although, like, I'm a girl, so it's like, I felt that way about you for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I was, like, criticizing you out the gate. I was like, oh, whatever. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, like, the
The
clouds
wool
roll.
comes off. Yeah, you're like, oh shit, wait, what's that? You know, you don't notice how much a person scratched until like from month 5. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, oh my god, like you scratch a lot. Do you moisturize? And be like, yes, I do, nigga. I just have super dry skin, and I don't feel like literally putting lotion on every 5 minutes of the day. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, well, nigga, put lotion on, and then y'all have the first argument about lotion. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it
Some
is.
dumb shit.
You know what I'm saying?
And
But
then
like,
it's like the cloud's like, wait a minute.
right. But you do if you can in the dreamy phase, right? If you can in that like fucking like honeymoon phase find reality and still clock those things and still be able to be like, okay, the dick good. I'm feeling all of these things. I'm pretty sure that annoys me because that annoys me when my brother does it, or that annoys me when this other person does it. Right? That annoys me when these people do it. So I'm pretty sure I'm annoyed by that. I'm not feeling that annoyance now.
Because I
Will
fuck.
I want to, right, but will I want to kill this person later when I am annoyed by this? And if you can honestly figure out if the answer to that question, then you're really grounded. You know, then you're literally grounded in the moment, and you're like, okay. And I agree with X that maybe she needs to take a step back and just like be grounded for longer, because the fact that she can ask this question means she's grounded enough to ask this question. But
Yeah.
maybe she needs to step back and just be a little grounded for longer and be like, okay, am I digmatized?
Good questions you have to ask yourself.
Yo.
But with that, let's get into the next question. All right, you want to read this one?
Yep. How do you
Oh,
maneuver?
who's from?
Okay, it's from Shane. How do you maneuver sex? Like the difference in drive and preparing, and also, what is your openness to adding people into your bedroom, and what was your journey in that?
That's a couple questions. But these are good questions.
Right? That's clearly an Aquarius. So, you said one question. We're gonna ask 7, but it's technically 1, but it's 7 questions. Who? Anybody want to take it?
Y'all go first.
Yeah, I go first.
Okay, well, it's been a journey for us. Like we talked about a little bit earlier about like we don't have the same sex drive. Like they definitely have way more of the sex drive like than I do. But like I'm not no lazy fucker either. So it's like when we do like it's good, and I can like if I do say something, I don't know. But
Back up, bitch. No, stop. Not y'all. Whoever's out there.
but it's about like Jib Jack said earlier, like being honest and having that conversation. Like what? Okay, I'm like okay, we not matching up with like the minimum how much you need it a week, because it may be a need. It might not even just be one. Maybe just like a thing like some people need it to like regulate their fucking like hormones and their energy and shit. Especially with a person that you like and you're in love with. So like I understand that. Like what's like okay 3 times a week. All right, that's feasible. Like we can make that happen. And just constantly like working at like sort of like making that happen.
And again, like was already said, being super honest. Like there will be times where like there are things that I need, that I'm not necessarily sure one person could provide anyway. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like so, you figure that out. To answer your other question in terms of adding people to the bedroom, there's different varieties of that. There's having threesomes, there's opening the relationship. People got to realize that if you open the relationship, you are inviting a person into your bedroom. You're not just having sex with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like you are in a relationship, so you might not be having a threesome with your partner, but you will be having sex with your partner and this person eventually, right? In that mindset of who you have sex with y'all share sex through the transitive property, right? You you like if I touch this glass and you touch this glass, you technically have touched me, right? So you got to know that, and be somewhat okay with that, and have the conversations about that and what that means and what the needs are for. I've noticed different things about myself not being able to have it as often recently because I was away, about how literally my back works, like quite literally physically, how much like you know what I'm saying, like sex will quite literally crack my shit and put it in the right place. Like it's like sometimes it is a need beyond some energetic shit. Sometimes it's a need beyond just the pleasure shit. Sometimes you don't even recognize what sex is like fixing in your physical makeup, and like the regenerative properties, the quite literal regenerative properties of sex. So I think the first thing that you need to do to answer your first question is respect people's sexual needs. I feel like that was a journey for me personally because I don't understand the idea of being able to have sex once a month and that be okay. So it was like, for me for mad long. Like honestly, I was like struggling with that. It hit me in very insecure places, you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of shit because it was like, whoa, like nah, if you know what I'm saying, if you quote unquote need it from me only once a month, you got to be getting it from somewhere. Like literally going through it because I couldn't understand what it meant to be a person that would be able to get filled up, as Pat calls it, filled up sexually or filled up energetically in that way and be like, yeah, like I'm good, like that was great sex. I'm Gucci for a month. I have no idea what that experience is like. I can't relate whatsoever, but you still have to come to it, even though I couldn't relate and didn't understand and was having my feelings about it, If I didn't respect them, I wouldn't still be here. So it's like, okay, I respect that that's what you said. You had the bravery to say that to me, knowing full well most of the people in the queer community probably can't relate. Especially anybody in the gay community with a penis, they probably like, what? You're not trying to at least get your dick sucked every day? That's wild, right? But you said it, and we're here, and we figured it out. We compromise. You figure out what the needs are, how to maintain a particular level of fullness for you, you know what I'm saying, so that you don't explode, and then how, you know what I'm saying, and how to maintain a level of fullness for me so that I don't deplete, right, and how to make sure that each other gets and maintains certain levels of arousal in terms of, like, again, following each other's love languages and all of that, So when you have different sex drives, you got to really be even more transparent. And I just gotta say this, I'm personally grateful because I had a lot of sex in my day, and I had a lot of people who I was in relation with that only wanted sex from me and didn't find me interesting, didn't actually really find me beautiful in any way, didn't appreciate my art, none of that, and I would rather that, than somebody that only wants me for sex. Of course, I would love to be having sex 3 times a day. That's my thing. It would be, if it was me, it would be 3 times a day. That's why, so, but of course that would be great, but nonetheless, like, love is more than sex.
And even with us, like, having, like, we've had threesomes. We've, in a sense, opened up the possibility of opening up a relationship with, like, a particular person.
I'm personally looking for a couple that's insatiable that might need me weekly. Thank you.
that was not a invitation.
No, that was just, I know. I'm just putting it out there for the universe. So the universe hears me.
And like for us personally, like it was like for me, it was no big deal. Like polyamory is not something that's like unattractive or like oppositional like to the way I function. I'm like,
new to you whatsoever.
Huh?
Or even new to you.
Or even new to me. I've been in polyamorous relationships before. So it wasn't that part of it wasn't like a big deal to me because like I understand sometimes like the separation between like sex and wanting to like try something or like just have some fun in general, um, and what that connection is like between the two of you, or even just like expanding the like relationship into like involving another person or more people. Like some people are in like
Pods.
relationship, like
Yeah.
pods, like group marriages and things like that. So it's like I'm not opposed to that anyway. So like that is cool for me, and like the idea of that is fun. All that has meant in reality is just like you being accountable to more people.
It's work. Somebody
And
said
that's
somebody who likes an open
even if you're just
relationship.
fucking,
Right.
like it's like you gotta be accountable for people. So like just being like, are you prepared and secure enough for that?
Right. Somebody said that people who like open relationships have scheduling kinks. And facts.
Facts.
Full facts. And I'm gonna add again. It's really facts because there is nothing like a plan working, my nigga. There's nothing like like an orgasm on top of a plan coming together is like nirvana on high. It's manna on high. Okay. I mean, y'all don't have the different sex drive issue, right? Y'all pretty much said that y'all are on the same page, so y'all don't even know what that's about. That's great. That's great.
We'll check back in a couple of years and shit when we can't anymore.
So what about the like open up the relationship part?
Open
Like, involving
relationships.
people and or like
Bringing others into the bedroom part.
right, yeah, oh yeah, that.
For us, no, but for other people, I can understand why people do it. You understand, like literally, like a big. Wait, Tyrone. All right, my cousin basically, they're a huge part of my life. My cousin and his girlfriend, they're actually poly too. So they bring other people to balance out their sex lives, to balance out what one can't do, the other can do, but they're not more so open. They're more so they're bringing a person in permanent, but they're right now taking applications and they're trying to like figure it out. And they want to make sure that they have somebody around to fulfill that. So I think that the best advice is to either talk with your partner about getting toys so that you could be able to be satisfied. Like, when your partner can't meet those expectations or be able to do whatever, get toys. Maybe get a dildo. If you a top, get a fleshlight. If this is a male and a female, get a pocket pussy. You know what I mean? Like, do whatever it is to like balance that. I'll have that conversation, because not everybody's okay with that. Not everybody's okay with their partner watching porn or doing this. Maybe watch porn. Like, I'm gonna suggest the things like, or maybe talk about opening up that relationship, just like how you guys said already. You know what I mean? So that you can have another person to come in, balance everything out for y'all. Like, that's the best advice, honestly. Or find somebody with a higher sex drive.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's like if you can't open the relationship or if you can't bring up somebody into the bedroom and you're not sexually fulfilled, then like, and with no hope of being sexually fulfilled, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like, it's rare that a person is always sexually fulfilled in this world. Again, there's too much to fucking do. Like, again, I feel your cousin and this girl. Like, there are times where literally it's just like the schedules don't match. You know, like sometimes the schedules don't match, and sometimes that be the worst. And sometimes I like as an artist, holy fuck. What is a schedule?
Like, what is that?
Yeah, what is a schedule? It's like, okay, this is what we planned to do. This was the idea of how today was going to go. But here we are, 3 hours after we were supposed to be done, still here. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, the work has to get done. So as an artist who loves their job, it's like, okay, like I'm here to do that, and if sex is sacrificed for it, the money is good and that and the third, then fine. But a need still has to be met. So if the shoe was on the other foot, right, it would be like, I'd understand if you had to call whoever was our third into the room while I'm at work.
Yeah.
It just has to be what y'all, and I think I think what scares people about polyamory is watching, and this is where I definitely agree in that like certain things don't need to be on social media. Like to me, when you're poly, you should start to really like try to keep things as in house as possible because you're building a community in your house. It's completely different. But people look at other people's poly relationships and be like, "Oh, I could never do that," instead of realizing that being poly is so many things
Right.
that like it could there's something that probably could work for you perfectly, and it don't even I mean, being poly requires you get over yourself. You know, there's people who are literally like, you know, like one thing that happened in the beginning was like, oh, well, if you're on tour, then I don't mind because like you're on tour and you have these needs, and if I'm not on tour with you, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Die? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, so it's like, okay, like y'all talk about that and that's fine, and you get over yourself enough to allow that, and if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and it is what it is.
And there's a whole difference between that and cheating.
Right.
Cheating is when you like break a relationship agreement or like commitment or agreed upon thing, and you doing your own thing.
Right.
Like an agreement, like a caveat to like that would just be like, bet no bitch ever get on social media or call me talking about I fucked your man because I am going to punch him in the face. Like, don't disrespect, like, because like that to me that crosses the lines. Like, where did this person get the idea that they were able to disrespect me in like, our relationship? Like, what have you said to them that would make them think that that was okay?
Right.
So, like, ain't no shit like that better ever happen, which I don't believe it. Like, it would.
Oh, because
But,
I
like-
probably punch a hoe before they even got the opportunity.
What's your post? Who'd you call? You do what?
But you said what?
Who told you that?
Like literally, babe, you probably be calling me like, do you know? I'm like, I do. I'm actually quite on the way. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm already handling it. Go home. Go to bed. Like, so yeah, it just has to be. It has to be every relationship, even a monogamous one, right? It has to be based on the terms of the agreement. People don't like to look at relationships from that kind of like contractual like place.
But it's a part of it.
But it's a part of it, especially if you're thinking about getting married.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, a marriage is a business fucking merger, period. And you've got to fucking see it as that before you decide to even put a ring on it. Like, you've got to see it as a business merger. And the thing that y'all have above many people is that y'all have found love and then made a situation in which y'all are working together. You know what I'm saying? And that is literally setting the stage for whether y'all could handle a business merger such as marriage. Y'all are literally testing right now where y'all could potentially even handle a marriage by going into this business venture together, because it's the same thing.
Shit, buy the house, either side of fucking lease together. That's the whole fucking process.
Right.
But with that said, this was a great show. Thank y'all for the first episode of our 5th season. We were like really like excited and happy to have y'all as guests. Like, this was like a really, really, really great show.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you guys so much. It's really
We
good.
definitely will do this again. We gotta like chill and hang out.
Yeah.
You can follow them on RichnX on YouTube.
Our Instagram, TikTok, and everything else is RichnX as well, but it just has a number 1 at the end, so you could just RichnX. It is not that. RichnX1 for TikTok, RichnX1 for Instagram.
Poppin'.
And make sure y'all follow us on your various social media. We're on YouTube, on Patreon, Facebook, Anchor, like, which is on Spotify, so we're available wherever podcasts are streaming, and everything is at aNvKai tree. And thank y'all for sitting with us once again. I've been Mr. Sykes and with Chip Jack.
On the attack, brow.
And we'll see y'all again next week with a brand new episode. Yeah, and that's it. Peace, y'all.
I know you're so used to singing. I'm not gonna take shots from my every time. Doom, doom, Don't you
before we
know?
fully end this though, I just want to say we're gonna always remember this. This is like our first interview, so this is like really special. You know what I mean? Like we never really like we said in the beginning when we was like talking, we never got the opportunity to like just do a live stream really and just answer questions on the spot and everything. Like it was an amazing experience. I'm glad that we got to do it with you guys. We definitely need to hang out. You know what I mean? It's
Thank
nice to meet
you.
Such a
really.
meeting y'all
Y'all
too.
really cool. Y'all not cool.
Thank you. Y'all mad cool too. We definitely gonna hang. We're gonna fucking turn up. It's getting warm, thank goodness. So we're gonna be able to definitely fucking turn up. OD. Round. All right.
That being said,
Peace, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I know. Yo!